We're going to do numbers 8 and 20. All I want you to do is pay attention. Like I said, they will be, I will post this online. Some of you say you can't get on the Canvas. That's fine. You can get onto YouTube. Correct. For this problem, I am dealing with section 10.7, so what do these represent? Angles or segment length? Right. How do you know? They don't have a parentheses and degree around it, right? So we're dealing with section 10.7. Obviously, this is homework from 10.7. These are problems that I have assigned. Okay. When they intersect inside the circle, how do the segment lengths relate to each other? The product of the parts created are, in this case, it was x times y is equal to a times b. So, what am I going to multiply here? And you have to use what? Parentheses. And then here you've got x times what? Okay. Do you guys remember this? Basically, if you understand the concept of parentheses, you're fine. You don't need to remember. That's why I hate the word FOIL. Parentheses are grouping symbols. I'm saying everything inside here times what? Everything inside there. So first multiply the x times everything inside there, which would be what? X times x is x what? X times negative 12 would be minus 12x, correct? Correct? Now, look here. I need to multiply everything. I haven't multiplied everything in here times everything there, so I've got to multiply 4 times that, 4 times that. So it'd be plus what? 4 times x minus what is positive times a negative is a negative, so 4 times 12 is 48. Is equal to, now this is just distributive, so it's x squared minus what? 9x. Now, here's the thing when you have problems like this. You do have a quadratic, which means you have x squareds and x's. However, before you worry about, and the first thing that ought to be on your mind is I need to get everything on one side and everything equal to 0 if I'm using the quadratic formula. Because in your notes, I said that the quadratic formula has everything equal to what? To find out what A, B, and C are to put into that formula, you have to have what? Know what A is, what B is, and what C is. Now, the nice thing that happens here, which will happen a lot, when I start moving things around and I say I want to make this equal to 0, what am I going to subtract? X squared from this side, aren't I? And then I'm going to subtract x squared over here, and this is its only like term, is it not? Everybody see that?
Yes.
So what you actually end up with, after that's done, a nice thing happens. What happens? Add to 0, leaving negative 12x plus 4x minus 48 is equal to a negative 9x. So look for that before you worry about, sit up everyone, before you worry about using the quadratic formula. See if when you subtract the x squared from both sides, a lot of times they will be nice and they will add to 0. Which a nice thing happens here. It does, doesn't it? So now I can treat this just like any other equation, can I? So being negative 8x minus 48 is equal to a negative 9x. What would I do? I would add 8x to both sides. Now we get negative 48 is equal to a negative x. Divide both sides by negative 1. X is equal to a positive what? Now, what did they ask for in the problem? Did they ask for x or did they ask for any lengths? They said find x to the nearest tenth. And we did. Yes?
How come it isn't 2x, but it's x squared?
Because x times x is x squared. 2 times x is 2x. X squared is just, x squared in essence is just an abbreviation for x times x. X times itself 2 times. Any questions there? It's not that bad, is it? Other than the algebra. See, this is what throws people off. Basically, the geometry ended right here, didn't it? It was algebra the rest of the way. Okay, go to this one. This one, the geometry can be kind of tough. Do I have things intersecting on the outside or on the inside? Outside. So in essence, I kind of have two situations here. I could totally kind of erase that bottom part from my mind, couldn't I? And write down the outside part, which is what? 2 times the whole thing, which is what? 2 plus what? 16 is equal to the outside part, which is what? Times the whole thing, which is what? Are equal, right? But then that could be one equation. And then I could make another equation over here. I'll do it over here. And totally get that out of my mind. And I kind of need to get rid of that too, don't I? Everyone agree? Now I've got two things entered on the outside, and that's exactly from our theorems. Would you agree? So the outside part, which is Q, times the whole thing, which is what? Q plus what? 16 is equal to the outside part, which is what? 15 times the whole thing, which is what? 15. Everyone agree? Okay. Herein lies the difficulty in these. Watch what's happened. 2 plus 16 is 18. What is 18 times 2? Really, people? 18 times 2 is equal to, what am I going to do here? Multiply through. I get r squared plus what? 18.5 what? Is that r squared going anywhere? It's not, is it?
No.
So at this point, I know that I'm going to use the quadratic formula, and I need to put it in the form ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So I have to set everything equal to what? 0. What's going to be the easiest thing to do here? I want 0 on one side, everything else on the other. All I have is 36 over here, right? If I subtract 36 from both sides, I've basically got it, and I can flip it if I want, but I've got 0 on one side, and then I've got what? R squared plus 18.5r minus 36. Now, understand something. The only difference between this and this is that instead of x, I have what? Does it matter? No, it's the same concept. Couldn't I write this as x squared plus 18.5x minus 36 is equal to 0? Would everyone agree? So, that in mind, we'll just leave it as r. And we're going to use the quadratic formula to find it. Now, I have to know what a is equal to, what b is equal to, and what c is equal to. What is a equal to here? It's the number in front of the what? Squared term. What's in front of this? So a is 1. What is the number in front of the x term? What is the plain number? So, now I plug it into the formula. Negative b. What's b? 18.5 plus or minus the square root of, what is it? B squared. So it's 18.5 what? Minus 4 times whatever a is. A is what? Times whatever c is, which is a negative 36. All of that divided by 2 times whatever a is, which is? Guys, this is just multiplication and order of operations. It's a pain, but that's all it is. Of course, this is going to be a negative 18.5 plus or minus square root of, well, what's 18.5 squared? Get your calculators out, people. Let's go, let's go, let's go. 342.25. Guys, pay attention to your sign here. Negative times positive times negative is a? It's a positive. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 36 is what? All of that over 2. So you've got negative 18.5 plus or minus the square root of, what is 144 plus 342.25? All of that divided by 2. Okay, here's the deal. It's at this point that you basically have two solutions. You have plus this and minus this. And since you're rounding to the nearest tenth, basically one of your solutions is r is equal to negative 18.5 plus the square root of what? 486.25 over what? 2. Or R2 is equal to what? Negative 18.5 minus square root of 486.25 over 2. One of these you're not going to need to worry about. Which one is it? The one that gives you a negative. Which one's going to give you a negative? The one on the right or one on the left?
Right.
One on the right. So don't worry about it. Put that into your calculator. Go square root of 46.25. Press equals and then say minus 18.5. Press equals and then just divide by 2 and tell me what you get.
1.775.
So 1.8. What did they ask us around to? 10. So 1.8. If you'll notice over here, what's 15 squared?
It's like 225.
And here you're going to have q squared plus 16q. You're going to have to use quadratic formula here again, aren't you? Okay? You have to solve that one. All right, take a picture of that, whatever you want to do, so you have it. I'll stop recording and I'll post it.